If you're a parent, or really anyone who spent, significant time around kids, you've probably been there, that familiar, often really frustrating dance, the parent-child argument.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost universal.
It really is. It's one of the biggest challenges I think that caregivers face, and it just makes you wonder why. Why does this happen so much? What's actually going on beneath the surface when things keep blowing up?
Hmm.
So today, in this deep dive, we're tackling exactly that. Not just the why do parents and kids argue, but maybe more importantly, what can we actually do about it?
Right. The practical side.
Exactly. Our mission here is to dig into our sources, trusted stuff from developmental psychology, neuroscience, parenting interventions, behavior therapy, and pull out the key insights for you.
And there is good news in the research, which I think is really encouraging.
Tell us. What's the fundamental good news here? Is it just kids being defiant, or is it something else?
Well, that's the really exciting part the research points to. These arguments, these cycles of conflict, they're usually not just about defiance. Often they actually stem from really understandable
Think of
things.
what?
Things like normal developmental needs, stress in the family, maybe skill deficits the child has, or even just these ingrained ways families interact, patterns.
Ah,
And
yeah.
the powerful message is this: that cycle can be broken. The relationship with your child, it can absolutely heal and improve.
That's huge.
It is. So let's start by, peeling back those layers. Let's understand the underlying why before we jump into the what to do.
Okay, let's unpack this because it's so easy to focus on just the argument itself, right? The shouting, the refusal. But if it's not just defiance, what is really going on underneath? What are the core reasons this keeps happening?
Yeah, it's fascinating when you dig in. The research points to, well, about 6 key reasons.
Hmm.
First, and this is fundamental, it's about developmental drives toward independence.
Right, the me do it stage and then the teenage version.
Exactly. Especially kids around 2 to 4, and then again in adolescence, they're just naturally wired to push for autonomy. They test limits, they assert their identity. It can be frustrating, absolutely,
Hmm.
but it's actually developmentally normal, even necessary.
Hmm.
Research, like Smetana's work, really highlights this. It's part of growing up.
Okay, so that's one piece. What else?
Second, there are often skill gaps and frustration. Kids might genuinely lack the skills they need at that moment. Maybe problem-solving skills, or how to manage big feelings, or even just communicating clearly what's wrong.
They don't have the tools yet.
Precisely. Dr. Ross Green talks about this brilliantly. He calls it lagging skills and unsolved problems.
Mm.
The idea is conflict often erupts when our expectations exceed the child's actual abilities in that moment.
Ah,
So it looks like defiance, but it's really a skill they haven't developed yet, or a problem they don't know how to solve appropriately.
that reframes it completely. Okay, what's third?
Third is something called the coercive cycle. This comes from Gerald Patterson's research, and it's kind of insidious how it
A
works.
coercive cycle. How does that work?
It's basically how negative reinforcement can unintentionally trap families. So imagine your child refuses a request, say cleaning up toys.
Yep. Been there.
You ask again, maybe louder. Then maybe you escalate, maybe threaten a consequence. Finally, one of two things happens. Either you give in because you're exhausted, fine, I'll do it, or you lay down the law with a punishment.
Okay.
Here's the kicker. Patterson found that both of those responses can actually reinforce the child's resistance over time.
Wait, even punishment? How?
Well, giving in obviously teaches them resisting works, but even the punishment can, in a way, reinforce it because the struggle itself might end the demand temporarily or becomes a predictable, albeit negative way to get intense parental attention. They learn fighting does something.
Wow. So you're accidentally teaching them to keep arguing.
Inadvertently, yes.
Yeah.
It creates this self-perpetuating cycle. It's really powerful and often totally unconscious.
Okay, that's a big one. What's number 4?
Fourth is stress and environmental factors. This isn't surprising, but the research really backs it up. The family stress model, for instance, it shows how outside pressures like money worries, job stress, lack of time, maybe even living in an unsafe area, significantly impact a parent's mood, their patience,
Sentence.
which then leads to maybe harsher interactions, less warmth, more snapping, and that, in turn, often increases the child's challenging behaviors. So, more arguments. It's a feedback loop.
Stress just spills over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then fifth, there are generational scripts.
Generational scripts.
Yeah.
You mean like parenting how we were parented?
Pretty much.
Mm.
Especially when we're stressed or caught off guard, many parents default to the patterns they grew up with. Maybe that was yelling or threats or the silent treatment.
Even if we don't want to.
Even if we
Aw.
consciously want a different approach, it's like these old scripts are embedded and they just run automatically under pressure. Like reaching for an old, familiar, maybe not so great recipe when you're flustered.
That's a powerful idea that we unconsciously repeat patterns. So for a parent listening right now who might recognize that pattern in themselves, what's the very first step? Even before we get to the tools, what's step one to break that script?
That's a great question. Honestly, the very first step is just awareness. Simply noticing it as it happens.
Just noticing.
Just noticing that internal thought, there I go again, that's my mom's voice, or that's what always happened in my house. That tiny moment of recognition creates a little bit of space.
A pause.
Exactly, a pause.
Oh.
And in that pause, even if it's just for a second, you gain the slightest bit of choice, the possibility to not just run the old script. That awareness is the beginning of change.
Okay. Awareness first. Got it. And the last reason.
And finally, number 6 is the emotional climate and safety cues. This is really getting into the neuroscience of it.
Okay.
Think about polyvagal theory, Dr. Stephen Porges' work. Our nervous systems are constantly, unconsciously scanning our environment and our interactions for cues. Are we safe, or is there danger?
Like a little internal radar.
Exactly. And if a child's environment, or even just the tone of an interaction, signals emotional threat, criticism, sarcasm, yelling, feeling dismissed, their nervous system can shift into a defensive state, fight, flight, or freeze.
Hmm.
And when that happens, the parts of their brain needed for thinking clearly, for listening, for problem solving, for connecting, they basically go offline.
So they literally can't cooperate in that moment.
They really can't access those higher level brain functions effectively.
Hmm.
So ensuring a child feels emotionally safe, genuinely safe, isn't just nice, it's neurologically necessary for calm communication and cooperation.
Wow. That point about emotional safety, it just feels so fundamental. It really drives home that just looking at the argument itself misses, well,
Eh.
almost everything that matters underneath.
It really does.
Okay, so we have a much clearer picture now of why these conflicts happen, the independence drive, the skill gaps, that coercive cycle, stress, old scripts, and the need for safety. So the next crucial piece, right, is the how. What do the experts, what does the research tell us actually works to interrupt these cycles? What are the core models?
Right, this is where it gets really practical and hopeful. The research points to several really effective intervention models. Each has slightly different strengths. First up, there's parent management training, or PMT.
PMT.
This model focuses on teaching caregivers specific skills: how to use praise effectively, how to set clear, consistent rules and expectations, how to use natural consequences, and really lean into positive reinforcement.
So very behavioral.
Very much so. It's structured, systematic. It's really good at reducing that oppositional behavior and just improving the whole dynamic. Cosden's work showed how powerful this can be.
Okay, PMT. What's next?
Next is parent-child interaction therapy, PCIT. This one's pretty unique because it often involves live coaching.
Live coaching, like someone in your ear.
Exactly. You might have a therapist behind a one-way mirror, giving you suggestions through an earpiece while you're interacting with your child.
Wow, that sounds intense, but maybe really helpful.
It can be incredibly effective. It focuses on 2 key things: strengthening the parent-child relationship, using skills like child-led play, specific kinds of praise, and then improving discipline techniques, like giving calm, clear, consistent commands. You build connection and improve compliance. Iberg's research really established this.
Connection and compliance. Okay, what else?
A third approach, really influential, is collaborative and proactive solutions, or CPS. This is Dr. Ross Green's model.
Ah, yes, the lagging sales guy.
The very same. CPS really emphasizes understanding the child's perspective on what's getting in their way. What are the unmet needs or lagging skills causing the problem? And the core idea is solving problems with your child collaboratively, not just imposing solutions on them.
Working together.
Yes. It's especially helpful for kids who might have diagnoses like ADHD or ODD, or just kids who struggle a lot with flexibility and handling frustration.
Yeah.
The mantra is, kids do well if they can. If they're not, we need to figure out what's stopping them and solve that problem together.
I like that philosophy. Okay, what other models?
Then there's the Triple P Positive Parenting Program. This one's interesting because it's often implemented as a public health model internationally.
Public health? How so?
It offers different levels of support, from universal tips for all parents to more intensive help for families really struggling. The goal is to give parents skills to reduce those coercive dynamics we talked about earlier, and just generally increase positive communication and parenting practices across the whole population. Sanders and his colleagues have shown it can have a really broad impact.
So reaching a lot of people.
Exactly. And finally, there's emotion coaching, which draws heavily from the Gottman Institute's work on relationships.
Gottman, right, the couples research guy, he does parenting too.
Yes, and it translates beautifully. Emotion coaching is all about parents helping their kids understand and label their emotions, tuning into the child's feelings, validating them, and then guiding them on how to manage those feelings.
So teaching emotional intelligence.
Essentially, yes. And the research shows that parents who do this raise kids who are better at regulating their own emotions, have stronger friendships, and actually have stronger bonds with their parents too. It's about connection through understanding feelings.
Okay, so we have these 5 big models: PMT, PCIT, CPS, Triple P, and emotion coaching. That's a lot of research, a lot of expertise. But what does this all mean for you listening right now in your daily life? How do you take these big ideas and actually use them when things get tough?